I would expect that we would be about 52 million people, and maybe our GDP per capita would be over $20,000, and that would be awesome. I mean, it would mean the elimination of extreme poverty in Argentina to the level. There is a level you can't eliminate. Like there's always going to be 2-3% of the population that's going to be in extreme condition. That's because of mental health problems and other situations that are not by any policy effectively. And it would mean like a general poverty rate of less than 15%.
Yeah,
we are at the level of maybe 40% now. So yeah, I'm very optimistic in the sense that most of what he says it's accurate, very accurate, and the dynamic of the situation implies that he's gonna be able to do more reforms after the next year election.
Buy my novel, Escape from the Village, from major booksellers online. Go to escapevillage.com. Subscribe to the Substack. Go to fountainheadforum.substack.com. Support the forum. Go to buymeacoffee.com/fountainheadforum. Thank you. Welcome to the party, pal. For Fountainhead Forum 258, we will be analyzing a speech in which Javier Milei is sitting at a table with many members of his cabinet and team. Therefore, I'm going to identify all of those people now. These people are from left to right: Sandra Pettovelo, Eduardo Bustamante, Manuel Adorni, Dami Anredel, Karina Milei, Luis Caputo, Javier Milei, Patricia Bullrich, Guillermo Francos, Mariana Liberona, Federico Sturzenegger, Mario Lugones, and Luis Petri. And now, on with the show. I'm talking to Miguel Duranti, and he's been on before. We're going to talk about Milei, specifically the speech that he gave on his one-year anniversary in Buenos Aires. This is a 37-minute speech that we're going to start right now. This is a very interesting speech. One thing that makes this speech very interesting is that first time I've done a speech here where Milei is sitting down with most of his cabinet. So he's got a different look here. I guess I've heard he's done some other speeches this way too, but this is the first time he's done a speech. We've watched one like this. He's sitting down. It's like a dinner meeting. Obviously, he's too big for the table. But yeah, that's so it's starting off right now. So we're just going to go back to 0 and go.
Queridos argentinos.
Oh, I got to get captions on too. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Captions, yeah. Queridos argentinos. That's dear Argentinians. Yes. So now he's wearing his glasses too. Did you notice that? Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's got a strategy for glasses or not glasses.
No, I think he uses them probably intentionally, but no, he needs them. He needs them for
oh yeah,
both for publicity purposes, yeah, but also because he can't read up close.
Hey, who is all of this from left to right here?
Left, you have Pettovelo, this is the woman in white. Just in the near the window. She's the Minister of Social Services, I would say.
Yeah.
She takes care of everything related with like poor people. Basic needs mostly.
Okay.
Food stamps and all those different kinds of programs next to her with the tie Manuel Adorni. Adorni is the is the spokesperson for Milei.
He's press secretary, as they call it in
press
America.
secretary, yeah.
And then there's I don't recognize those next two guys at all.
The guys who are on the back, I don't recognize them either. I don't know everyone on the government.
Yeah.
Just near Manuel Adorni is Milei's sister. That's Karina.
Karina. Yeah, we know her. And then there's Caputo is next.
Caputo is behind her. And behind Milei, the other woman
Bullrich.
with the blue, that's Bullrich. That's Patricia Bullrich. Then in the same table with Milei, there's Bullrich is the security minister. She takes care of security and defense.
Yeah.
So, and then in the table with Milei at his left, there's Guillermo Franco. That's we call them Ministro de Interior. Interior Minister would be. He takes care of the liaison with the states. It's a political position mainly. Then you have behind Francos, you have Cunio Libarona. He's the Minister of Justice. And then just next to Francos, at his left, you have on the right of the screen, there's Sturzenegger. That's the minister who is in charge of deregulations. He's publishing small deregulations every year, small and not so small sometimes. Whatever his the emergency power delegation that Milei got on the law, he passed in April, I think. Well, he's like the hand who applies many of the regulations that the executive branch of the government can apply without an explicit law of Congress. And then next to Sturzenegger, there's Luis Petri. She works in tandem with Patricia Bullrich. She was her vice president candidate, so in the election. So he's the defense minister.
Okay. So and I've noticed Vija Ruel's not here.
No, the vice president. The relation with the vice president is completely cut off. So it's just.
This is going to be an interesting speech. Thank you. And that is an amazing room. Just Argentina is such an elegant country. They really go.
Well,
quiero comenzar por agradecerles a todos.
What'd you say there?
No, continue.
Todos. Gracias por haberme dado el honor de ser el presidente de esta gran nación. Y gracias por haber sobrellevado como lo hicieron los meses duros que tuvimos en el comienzo de nuestra gestión. Me gustaría agradecer en especial a los argentinos maltratados por el injusto modelo de la casta, los que no viven del Estado, los asalariados o quienes tienen 2 empleos para sostener una familia, y a todos aquellos que la pelean incansablemente todos los días. En pocas palabras, quiero agradecer.
He's already starting this out by calling out the cast and just talking about how everybody's working hard and they're not.
Agradecerles a los argentinos de a pie que fueron tratados como ciudadanos de segunda durante décadas y a quienes hoy queremos devolver el lugar que se merecen. El sacrificio que han hecho es conmovedor. Les aseguro que no será en vano. Alguna vez el presidente Menem dijo que el coraje de un pueblo se mide por la cantidad de verdades que está dispuesto a soportar. Cuando asumí la presidencia, hace exactamente un año, advertir que sacar al país de la miseria en la que nos hundió el modelo de la casta iba a requerir atravesar un impas de dolor, incluso peor que el que ya se vivía en la Argentina. Era una verdadera prueba de fuego. Ustedes me correspondieron soportando esa verdad y aceptando el trago amargo con la frente en alto, a pesar de todo lo que ya habían perdido.
What does he mean by accepting Marco's drink? Is that a slang term I hear, or what?
Market.
It looked like he said maybe it looked like it said Marco's drink. At least that's what Maybe it wasn't Market's drink, but that's what it said on the captions. So
Yeah, I just didn't read the captions in English. If you could play it back, I could play it. If you use a slang or
yeah. Well, Marco is a fairly common Spanish name too. So
hay un refrán que dice que los buenos tiempos crean hombres débiles. Los hombres débiles crean tiempos difíciles. Los tiempos difíciles crean hombres fuertes.
Yeah, I love how he's going through this. Strong men create good times, weak men create difficult times.
Yeah, it's a meme already.
Yeah,
everywhere.
And, are we permanently? Is there any way we can get out of this cycle? I mean, as people, or is this always going to be the way we live? I really wonder about this.
Well, look, there are no miracles, and what I can tell you, if it serves as the harder times are becoming better and better. So it's not the same thing a hard time right now than a hard time even 50 years ago and 100 years ago, and much worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hard time 200 years ago when you died of famine because of
yes,
crashing productivity for any reason, climate reasons or whatever. So
yeah. I don't think there have really ever been any famines in the Western Hemisphere.
No. During the 20th century, war situations, and then just communism situations.
Yeah.
That's
communism. But
like Venezuelans are they were starving for several years. They were on the brink of starvation for years. I'm talking 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 2020, 21 even. Now it's a little better. They're not in the same situation that 5, 6, 7 years ago, but they are pretty bad. And Cubans are also on the brink of starvation. Always, like they survive with the bare minimum calories they can.
Well, it's interesting how this happens in the political situations. I mean, the poorest country I've been to is Peru, and Peru is largely rainforest. It's like, well, it's a rainforest. There's food everywhere. Okay, let's go.
Y que son los hombres fuertes quienes crean buenos tiempos. Este año los argentinos hemos demostrado ser hombres y mujeres fuertes, forjados al calor de tiempos difíciles. Hemos demostrado que cuando un pueblo toca el fondo del abismo, su urgencia por emprender un cambio profundo e irreversible se convierte en una verdadera fuerza de la naturaleza. Hoy, con orgullo y esperanza, puedo decirle que hemos superado la prueba de fuego. Estamos saliendo del desierto. La recesión terminó y el país finalmente ha comenzado a crecer. Gracias por confiar en este gobierno. Esto no quiere decir que hayamos llegado a puerto, pero sí quiere decir que podemos terminar el año con alivio y de que hemos dejado atrás lo peor y arrancar el año entrante con la certeza de que el futuro será cada vez mejor. Se vienen tiempos felices en Argentina, pero por eso mismo es condición necesaria que todos tomemos dimensión de lo hecho a lo largo de este año, para poder custodiar y no dar por sentado lo que tanto nos costó lograr. Hace exactamente un año, la tasa de inflación viajaba a un ritmo del 17.000% anualizado en el índice mayorista. Nos habían plantado una hiperinflación que, dadas las condiciones sociales en las que ya se encontraba la Argentina, iba a dejar un tendal de miseria nunca antes visto. Ni el Rodrigazo, ni la hiper del 89, ni el 2001, y dichas 3 crisis justas.
Rodrigazo, when was that?
Rodrigazo, that's a huge increase in prices and different also prices in the public services like electricity, natural gas, and all of that. That occurred that happened in 1975. So, and the inflation rate went from I don't know, maybe 60-70% a year in Argentina to 120, and then quickly to 400-500%. So yeah, it marks it marked the end of the last Peronism, last government of Peron, when Peron died and um, her wife became president. Those years in 74, 75, and the inflation rate completely exploded, and the reason why it happened is like the many of the price controls just exploded, like they couldn't be sustained anymore. Like Peron, when he came back to power in 73, 74, he installed price controls everywhere. So he thought he could contain inflation that way, and by having the unions on his side, not pushing for increases in salaries. So for as long as he was alive, he could maintain it. But he died in July 74, and then the political situation wasn't untenable anymore. And anyways, what he said at first about we were on the verge of the worst crisis in our modern times, like from 75 to now. Like we have like 5 or 6 important debt crisis, fiscal crisis. We were probably on the verge of a new one, but that doesn't mean that some of the numbers he threw around were like completely exact. Like 17,000% inflation was not a possibility, I think. But an inflation of, like, last year, the inflation rate was 211% for the whole year. So the everything was set up for a big jump in that inflation rate. Probably 300, 400, a little more, a little less, let's say. But not 17,000%. 17,000% is it's a number that he takes 1 day of very sharp increases in wholesale prices, and he just extrapolated by through the whole year, and that gives him the number 17,000%. But it's not methodologically sound to do that, because
and things have certainly stabilized with 11 months of budget. I also realized the Perons never had any kids, did they?
The who didn't have kids?
The Perons didn't have any children, so nobody tried to. Because sometimes, So okay, okay. Let's get back to this. We don't have much time, but this.
Puntas. Hoy, el mismo índice de precios mayorista dio 1,2% para el mes de octubre y sigue bajando. Estamos cada día más cerca de que la inflación sea poco más que un mal recuerdo. Hace exactamente un año teníamos 15 puntos de déficit fiscal consolidado, de los cuales 5 pertenecían al Tesoro y 10 estaban debajo de la alfombra del Banco Central. El déficit era el huevo de serpiente de todos nuestros males, ya que sin déficit no hay deuda, ni emisión, ni inflación. Hoy tenemos...
Did you say something there?
No, I'm saying all the things he said there are true. Like,
Okay, it almost sounds like maybe he's speaking to the people in the government as much as he's speaking to the public. Who do you think his audience is here? The public, or just maybe other people in the government?
Well, he's using this is the formal channel of communications, using the we call it the cadena nacional, the national chain. So there's a variety of people watching, and so he gives probably the bulk of the people is not gonna understand the numbers. Maybe they're gonna get that the inflation was much higher, and right now it's about 2.5% a month. So, which is still very high, but for our for what for compare with the possibility of what was going to happen if the other candidate had won, it's much less. Like as I told you, 2023 ended up with 211% inflation for the whole year, and this year is gonna be a little over half that, so 110, maybe 115%. That's the number, and for the next year, like most of the economists are saying that it's going to be under 30% and very likely under 20% for the whole year. And then maybe in 2 years we can expect a regular one-digit inflation. For the whole year, maybe.
Let's hope so.
Superávit fiscal sostenido, libre de default, por primera vez en los últimos 123 años. Esto fue gracias a hacer el ajuste más grande de la historia de la humanidad y aplicarle un torniquete a la emisión monetaria hasta llevarla a cero. Hace exactamente un año, un degenerado fiscal que no voy a nombrar venía de imprimir 13 puntos del PBI en un año para ganar una elección, sin cuidado de la inflación que iba a generar. Hoy la emisión monetaria es cosa del pasado. Hace exactamente un año la deuda con importadores ascendía a la estrepitosa suma de 42.600 millones de dólares, los cuales nos había dejado al borde de que colapse la cadena de pagos. Hoy no solo está saneada la deuda, sino también el flujo de importaciones, dado que se pagan en su totalidad en fecha y forma. Hace exactamente un año teníamos más de un punto del PBI de déficit comercial y reservas netas negativas por 11.000 millones de dólares. Hoy tenemos superávit comercial creciendo a pasos agigantados, gracias a lo cual ya pudimos comprar más de 20.000 millones de dólares, récord histórico de nuestra nación, tanto para acumular reservas.
He mentioned trade surpluses, which is certainly a good time. Do they still have the export tariffs now, or did they get rid of those?
No, we still have export tariffs, and that's mainly because of something he's going to say later on the speech, if I remember correctly. We have this common block of countries called the Mercosur. So it's Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Bolivia, I believe, also. No, I'm sorry, Chile is not in the Mercosur. I'm sorry, it's just, Chile it has its own. They played it correctly. They didn't do like us. So, and we have in the Mercosur we have external tariff that is common to all the countries. I don't know the rate, but it's high. It's very high. It's over 15% or more, and so he's trying to work to now he's like the president in charge of the Mercosur meetings. He's gonna work for a reduction in that common tariff. So the whole country can benefit from an increase in good imports, you know.
I mean, a lot of countries have most countries have tariffs on stuff that you're bringing into the country, but tariffs on stuff going out. The main result is nobody's going to send anything out at all because it's just not worth it. But
he also will talk about in that blog. Well, I'm just going ahead, but maybe we can skip later that part. He's going to say that there are many regulations that work as undercover tariffs. Regulations, for example, environmental regulations or whatever that makes products difficult to get inside the country, or very hard to get inside the country. So they're going to work on elimination of those regulations for external trade.
Most certainly, yes. Okay.
Reservas como para hacer frente a los distintos pagos que teníamos y seguimos teniendo por delante. En otras palabras, estamos pagando la deuda que nos dejaron reales de un año. Hacía 16 años que no sucedía algo así en nuestro país. Esto produjo que el salario básico promedio crezca de $300 a $1.100. Hace exactamente un año teníamos un riesgo país de 1.900 puntos, que venía de ser incluso más alto, y bonos nacionales cotizando a $35. Hoy el riesgo país se encuentra por debajo de los 700 puntos y nuestros bonos ya se encuentran por encima de los $70. Esto no es un valor abstracto que solo tiene que importarle a economistas. Bajar el riesgo país nos permite bajar la tasa de interés, es decir, mejorar la capacidad que tienen todos los actores de la economía para acceder a un crédito más barato, lo cual facilita la inversión y genera puestos de trabajo. Hace exactamente un año la tasa monetaria se encontraba en 133%. Hoy se encuentra en 32%, bajando el costo general de los créditos. Para entender el rol de la política monetaria, es la preferencia de cuánto paga el Estado por recibir plata prestada. Si el Estado paga mucho, los bancos prefieren prestarle al Estado. Si el Estado paga poco, los bancos prefieren prestarle al privado. Es decir, hoy por primera vez en mucho tiempo, los bancos prefieren trabajar de bancos. En concordancia con esto, hace un año había desaparecido las compras en cuotas. Hoy no solo tenemos cuotas, sino que también tenemos créditos hipotecarios a 30 años con más de 250.000 consultas registradas para acceder a uno. Hace exactamente un año teníamos una economía completamente maniatada de regulaciones que le complicaban la vida a todos y ahuyentaban cualquier tipo de inversión. Al día de hoy ya eliminamos más de 800 normativas, a razón de más de 2 por día. Así abrimos los cielos, desregulamos el transporte terrestre, eliminamos los precios máximos y las prohibiciones de exportación, derogamos la ley de góndolas, eliminamos los excesos de SADAIC y las sociedades de gestión colectiva, habilitamos Internet satelital y aumentamos la competencia en el sector de medicamentos. Si consideramos la ley base y el DNU en su conjunto, hemos hecho la reforma estructural más grande de la historia, 8 veces más grande que la de Menem. Hace exactamente un año teníamos la nefasta ley de alquileres que hacía caer la oferta inmobiliaria y subir los precios de alquiler muy por encima de la inflación. Hoy los contratos de alquiler son acuerdos libres entre partes. La oferta de inmuebles no para de crecer y el precio promedio de alquiler cayó hasta 30% en términos reales. Hace exactamente un año teníamos el nefasto sistema CIRA, que era aprovechado por un grupo de cleptómanos para cobrar coimas en las importaciones. Hoy cualquiera que desee importar algo puede hacerlo y cada día reducimos aranceles para más bienes, como por ejemplo herbicidas.
What was he talking about? Bribes on imports?
Well, yeah. There was a system called CIRA. It was like a form you need to fill up to wait for the central bank to liberate for you the dollars at the official price, or that they let you enter through the frontiers of the country. Merchandise. Woods and mainly woods. Woods. And for example, I don't know, clothing, for example, like the person who was in charge of that process, it's called the Secretary of Commerce, like a Soviet position, if there is one. There are very credible sources that said that because it was corruption spread all over, so he was asking specific bribes to liberate specific stuff for companies. So companies or individuals who wanted to skip the line or whatever regular process, they had to go through him with a pure cash bribe.
Yes, of course.
So, that was eliminated. That doesn't occur anymore. And the Secretary of Commerce now still exists, but he has like like a job similar to Sturzenegger, in that in his area he's trying to deregulate as much as possible the circulation of goods and services. Yeah, that's mainly
Yep.
what happened.
Okay.
Urea, insumos plásticos, neumáticos, electrodomésticos, motos, productos LED y muchos más, haciendo bajar los precios y beneficiando a toda nuestra sociedad mediante la competencia. Hace un año nos encontrábamos entre los peores 35 países del mundo en el ranking de libertad económica. Hoy ya nos encontramos en la mitad superior de la tabla y no vamos a parar hasta convertirnos en el país más libre del mundo.
Yes.
Por eso nuestro objetivo es hacer 3.200 reformas estructurales más antes de terminar nuestro mandato. Hace exactamente un año, tener las calles de nuestras ciudades secuestradas por los piquetes era la norma. Imagínense que en 2023 hubo más de 8.000 piquetes, o sea, un promedio de 32 piquetes por día hábil a lo largo y a lo ancho del país. Hoy los piqueteros tienen miedo de tomar la calle y la gente puede circular tranquila, y con razón, porque para nosotros el orden público es sagrado. Esto también sucedió porque hace un año teníamos un sistema de representación forzada mediante el cual el Estado obligaba a los más vulnerables a depender de distintos gerentes de la pobreza, que los forzaban a asistir a piquetes para cobrar su plan. Hoy toda ayuda social se asigna de forma directa a los beneficiarios, sin intermediarios. Hace un año la tarjeta alimentaria y la asignación universal por hijo no llegaba a cubrir el 60% de la canasta básica. Durante este año se duplicaron en términos reales y hoy ya cubren el 100%. Es decir, cumplimos con nuestra promesa de cuidar a los más vulnerables durante el ajuste. Hace un año nuestras fuerzas del orden eran despreciadas por la clase política. La calle era tierra de nadie. Imperaba el sálvese quien pueda. Cerrábamos el año con más de 250 homicidios en Rosario. Estaba completamente cooptada por el narcotráfico. Ahora el que las hace las paga. Lanzamos el Plan Bandera y logramos reducir los asesinatos en Rosario en un 63%. También estamos poniendo a los presos en todo el país a trabajar para que le devuelvan de alguna manera a la sociedad todo el mal que le han causado. Hemos emprendido el único camino posible para terminar con la inseguridad, una de las batallas más largas y duras que tiene la Argentina por delante. Hace un año era costumbre que los gobiernos argentinos fueran un hazmerreír a nivel global, asociados a las peores dictaduras y regímenes criminales. Esto fue una práctica de décadas, donde en el mejor de los casos éramos un país irrelevante y en el peor éramos utilizados como el ejemplo a lo largo y a lo ancho del planeta de todo lo que no se debe hacer ni decir.
For anyone struggling with ear ringing, do not drink water. You may not know this, but the biological reason.
Hoy, el mundo vuelve a posar su mirada sobre la Argentina por los motivos correctos. Ciudadanos e inversores de todo el mundo evalúan la posibilidad de venir a vivir aquí y en materia económica una potencia como Estados Unidos está diseñando su propio ministerio de desregulación a imagen y semejanza del nuestro. Hace un año decían que no llegábamos a enero. Hoy ya estamos en diciembre. Decían eso porque necesitaban que no fuéramos rápido y no destapáramos sus curros. Pero adivinen qué, se la estamos destapando uno por uno, sin darle respiro y no nos vamos a ir a ningún lado. Se preguntarán si esto que estamos haciendo funciona, si tener una política fiscal ortodoxa funciona, si ser intransigente con las extorsiones y el delito funciona, si achicar el Estado para engrandecer a la sociedad funciona. ¿Por qué nadie lo hizo antes? Lo que ocurre es que la mayoría de las veces lo que es positivo para la sociedad es perjudicial para la política y viceversa. Esa es la naturaleza del modelo de la casta. Ellos necesitan que a la sociedad le vaya mal para que a ellos les vaya bien. Debemos entender por qué la casta actúa de esta manera. A ellos no les importa pensar a largo plazo. Su mente no está puesta en un proyecto de nación, sino en dilapidar el futuro en favor del presente inmediato. Está en su ADN. No piensan en otra cosa que no sea explotar al máximo a la sociedad, en el aquí y ahora, para su propio rédito político. Cuando el rey Luis XV de Francia despilfarraba la riqueza del reino en sus placeres personales, solía decir una frase: después de nosotros el diluvio.
He said that mentioned the 15th king of France, which of course is the French Revolution.
Well, it was before the French Revolution, I think.
Louis the 15th. Yeah.
Louis XVI was during the French Revolution. Yeah, but yeah, they were mercantilist kings since.
Yeah, it was Louis the 16th. I should correct that. Maybe he meant, but Louis the 15th did die in 1774. So obviously, the economic, what was going on in France was probably leading up to that. Yeah, and of course, he mentioned, the fact that people aren't blocking traffic anymore, but you can still protest on all those public squares. And of course, he also,
look,
the availability of rental properties also went up. Yes.
The number of street blockades, if you can say, went down, but not completely. I mean,
yeah,
I think the statistic is around 30%.
Yeah.
So it's significant.
Yeah.
We would expect that it will be, or I will expect it will get lower if the economy improves, which I don't have any reason to believe it will not happen. So,
yeah, true, but yeah, that's true. Yeah.
En otras palabras, a la casta no le importa el futuro, que las generaciones venideras se las arreglen como puedan. A medida que la política fue aprendiendo a quemar el futuro de los argentinos para su propio beneficio, gran parte de la sociedad se fue acostumbrando a la misma dinámica. Forzada por el cortoplacismo impuesto desde arriba, no vio otra salida que intercambiar su voto por beneficios cada vez más inmediatos. La emisión monetaria y la expansión estatal indiscriminadas son dos expresiones de este fenómeno. Ambas se basan en producir una sensación de beneficio inmediato, mientras que sus efectos negativos solo se sienten con el correr del tiempo. Carreras políticas enteras se han construido de esa manera, dejando como saldo sociedades cada vez más destruidas, con un Estado cada vez más grande y más caro. Y los privilegiados por el Estado omnipresente, que cada vez eran más, se convirtieron en parte interesada y defensores de que nada cambie. Esto explica que periodistas, sindicatos, organizaciones sociales y políticos de todos los colores que hasta hace poco se sacaban los ojos se hayan unido en defensa del statu quo, como si pertenecieran a un mismo partido, el Partido del Estado. Ellos quieren vivir en su torre de marfil, en su paraíso ficticio erigido sobre una sociedad cada vez más empobrecida. Llaman a sus privilegios de derechos adquiridos casi como si fueran una especie de nobleza con derecho divino a vivir a costa de la sociedad. Bueno, nosotros vinimos a desmontar ese sistema de raíz. Vinimos a terminar con el régimen de privilegios que convirtió a los argentinos de bien en ciudadanos de segunda. Llegó la hora del hombre común. Por eso le pasamos la motosierra al gasto público. Le pusimos fin a la pauta publicitaria de los medios, que solo en 2023 había ascendido a más de 100.000 millones de pesos a valor actual. Redujimos los ministerios de 18 a 8. Eliminamos casi 100 secretarías y subsecretarías. Cerramos más de 200 áreas que tenían funciones duplicadas o obsoletas. Congelamos el salario de funcionarios de alto rango desde enero hasta la fecha. Cerramos Telam, que funcionaba como una agencia de propaganda kirchnerista y solo este año proyectaba una pérdida de 20.000 millones de pesos. Echamos a 34.000 empleados públicos y les estamos tomando examen de idoneidad a los demás. Por eso también eliminamos los cargos hereditarios en el Estado, que nos remitían a épocas coloniales de privilegios nobiliarios. Cerramos el INADI y el Ministerio de la...
What's he talking about? Eliminating hereditary charges?
Oh, well, apparently in our IRS would be the FIP or ARCA now, because he changed the name. He fired 3,000 people from that organism, and he changed the name of it. And there was like I think the rule was written in the internal statutes of the organism that if when there is a position that gets open, or if you retire from a position, you can
Give a
replace.
government job to your child. Is that what you're saying?
You can give it to your anyone in your family you want.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's it's hereditary charge. That's what it is. It happened. That's at the national level. It happens more, for what I hear from people who knows more about state governments. And the municipalities. They tell me that it's something that happens even more in those environments that in the AFIP.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. In America, we also call that nepotism. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You give it to your family, or you hire your nephew.
Yeah. But this, I believe that this is more than nepotism. Like it's written in the inside rules of the operational rules of the organism. So of the public office, wherever it might be. So that's what makes it more outrageous, So.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
La mujer, que eran aguantaderos de militantes y se usaba para perseguir a adversarios políticos. Terminamos con los privilegios de la casta sindical en empresas públicas como aerolíneas e Intercargo. Y aunque nos sigan queriendo extorsionar, no vamos a dar el brazo a torcer. Estamos logrando que muchos empleados públicos que se creían seres superiores entiendan que son servidores públicos, que están ahí para brindarle un servicio de calidad a quienes pagan impuestos. Además, eliminamos más de 15 fondos fiduciarios que eran curros de la política. Eliminamos los subsidios al Inca, que pasó de un déficit de $2 millones a un superávit de más de 4. Eliminamos el curro que era el registro único del transporte automotor, ahorrando a los argentinos más de 36.000 millones de pesos por año. A través de la SIGEN hemos auditado a todo el Estado. Estamos auditando a las universidades públicas, que también tienen que rendirle cuentas a la sociedad, aunque se resistan. Todo esto no es un canto anticipado de victoria, sino el conocimiento de que hemos cumplido el rumbo que nos trazamos y una ratificación de que nuestros próximos objetivos serán también una realidad. Porque hace exactamente un año había un gran escepticismo en el debate público y los medios acerca de si nuestro gobierno podía tener éxito. En el mejor de los casos, decían que no teníamos la experiencia, la capacidad, el poder político necesario para cumplir nuestros objetivos. En el peor de los casos, que nuestro gobierno no iba a durar ni 3 meses, y muchos esbirros de la casta intentaron hacer realidad este vaticinio por la fuerza bruta. Así y todo, logramos estabilizar la economía y evitar la catástrofe a la que nos dirigíamos. Y con únicamente el 15% de los diputados y 10% de los senadores, hicimos la reforma estructural más grande de la historia argentina. Lo que quiero decirles con todo esto es que si pudimos hacer tanto con todo el mundo en contra, imagínense todo lo que podemos hacer con viento a favor. Podría ir el doble de lejos, el doble de rápido. Podría pasarme un año entero describiendo las cosas que cambiaron en este último año, pero no quiero hacerlos perder tanto tiempo. Porque otra cosa que cambió en estos 12 meses fue dejar de mirar hacia atrás para empezar a mirar hacia adelante. Quiero aprovechar unos minutos en este balance del año que estamos haciendo para contarles cómo va a ser este futuro próspero que está comenzando, para que ustedes puedan diagramar su propio destino, el de su familia y siempre en libertad. Tal como dijimos que iba a ocurrir, en el segundo trimestre la actividad ya empezó a repuntar, es decir, hacer los deberes está dando resultados. Esta tendencia se mantendrá el año que viene. Estamos entrando a un año de baja inflación, alto crecimiento económico y, en consecuencia, un crecimiento sostenido del poder adquisitivo de los argentinos, algo que hace décadas los argentinos no viven. ¿Por qué digo que el año que viene tendremos crecimiento sostenido? Lo digo esencialmente por 2 razones. En primer lugar, algo que ya estamos viendo hoy. La economía ha entrado en una recuperación cíclica que nos está sacando del pozo en el que nos dejaron. Esa recuperación cíclica se basa en 2 factores. Por un lado, la recomposición de los salarios reales y las jubilaciones por la destrucción de la inflación. Por otro lado, la recomposición de de stocks de las empresas que va a dinamizar la economía luego de la liquidación de los inventarios durante el primer semestre de este año. Pero esto es coyuntural, es parte de lo que estamos viendo hoy, que explica el brutal crecimiento de la economía en el último trimestre. Pero además está la cuestión estructural, el ahorro realizado durante este año de 15 puntos de...
Talking a lot about the economic growth of the last few months.
Yeah, well, apparently the last data that we have from the official statistics of the government, the INDEC, it says like in the last trimester the economy grew 3.9%. So just not to confuse people, let's say this year the economy of the country is gonna be falling about 3.5%, and next year all the predictions from economists say that it is going to grow over 5%. So it is true that we are in a recovery situation. What will mark Milei's triumph or demise is if he can sustain that for 3 more years or 2 more years. Let's say 2025, it's already in the how you say the expression? I'm losing it. It's already out of the question. We're gonna grow 5% next year, and then let's say 2026 and 2027, if he manages to have economic growth on those 2 years also, it will be the first time since 2008 that Argentina has 3 years of continuous economic growth.
Yeah.
It was always let me give you an example. For example, 2008, the economy grew, and I can't remember how much, but it went down a lot in 2009 due to the 2008 crisis. Remember the housing crisis and all of that, all the problems in the world economy. We grew up. The economy grew then in 2010 and 2011, and that was the last year that the GDP per capita increased in 2011. Since 2011, we've been growing 1 year, falling 1 year, growing 1 year, falling 1 year, growing 1 year. Sometimes we fall 2 years and we grow 2 years. Sometimes, but the GDP per capita has been slowly, steadily going down. Argentina has probably around 15% less GDP per capita than 2011. So we basically squander a decade and a half. That's how terrible the Kirchnerismo was, and not aided in the least. It didn't help in the least. The 4 years we had with Macri was like a continuation of the same. So I think there is a very good chance that Milei achieve that. He's going to, for sure, win next year election, and he's going to accumulate much more power, and that will allow him to step on the gas and increase the rhythm of reforms. And he also says in this speech that next year the exchange controls are going to be over. So exchange control, lowering taxes, eliminating a lot of taxes. He says 90% of the taxes are going to be eliminated at one point, but I don't believe that it's going to be maybe 90%, but many taxes. We have over, at the national level, we have about 100 different taxes. If you add state taxes and municipalities and county, we have about over 150 different taxes.
Yeah.
So that I would expect really the dynamic of the situation makes me very optimistic in the sense that Milei is going to win next year election. He's going to step on the gas on the reforms, and that will make him have the 3 years of continuous economic growth with very low yearly inflation by the end of his mandate, and he's gonna win a second mandate, and that would mean 8 years of him. And my impression would be that by the end of his an 8-year administration, that's my prediction. I mean, I could be totally wrong, many things, but that's I have like that would be my educated guess, seeing what happened this whole year. He was able to do that true of doing this much with so little political support in Congress and in he will be able to do much more when he wins. And I would expect that 8 years of Milei's government would leave Argentina with a GDP per capita maybe of a poor European country, a poor Western European country, let's say Greece, for example.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible. I mean, we're talking about Greece has about I was just looking at those numbers. Like Argentina has a GDP per capita of $14,000. And Greece has a GDP per capita of $23,000. So I would expect the population is not growing as fast anymore here in Argentina. So I would expect that we would be about 52 million people, and maybe our GDP per capita would be over $20,000, and that would be awesome. I mean, it would mean the elimination of extreme poverty in Argentina to the level. There is a level you can't eliminate. Like there's always going to be 2-3% of the population that's going to be in extreme condition. That's because of mental health problems and other situations that are not by any policy effectively. And it would mean like a general poverty rate of less than 15%.
Yeah,
we are at the level of maybe 40% now. So yeah, I'm very optimistic in the sense that most of what he says it's accurate, very accurate, and the dynamic of the situation implies that he's gonna be able to do more reforms after the next year election. There are some dangers. We have the like he had to clean when he said the debt of the central bank was clean and the debt with the importers was clean. Where what he did was to exchange the debt for that the central bank had, for example, with directly treasury debt, which is longer term, a little longer term, like the central bank debt was very short term, like 1 week, 1 month at the most. He exchanged it for treasury bonds that are takes a few years to mature, and the interest was lower. But there is always a certain risk of that bond market to depreciate if the investors lose trust in Milei. But why would they lose trust? Well, they might lose trust if Milei doesn't keep enforcing the fiscal surplus that he's enforcing.
Yeah.
But I don't believe there is any reason for Milei to that could make Milei not enforce the fiscal surplus. If he has to start the retirees, which are the how you say the people who are on Social Security. If he has to start those that people which are which is the bulk of the Argentinian budget, like in all social democracies, I mean, it's not different.
It's the bulk in a lot of countries.
He will do it. He will not compromise the fiscal surplus, because he knows if he does that, what lies ahead is the abyss. So that he showed, like, month after month after month during this whole year. If you, I don't know if you remember, last time we talked, I told you Milei's future was going to be determined by how sustainable the fiscal surplus is. And I was telling you that was, I think we talked in April, that was not a secure, very secure thing. Right now, with the whole year in seeing the whole year of Milei's government, I believe that there is no reason to believe he's not going to sustain. Not even with a growing economy, which means increasing tax revenues. I mean, there's no. I mean, it could happen. But I don't see how.
Okay, let's go.
Del PBI, que la política dilapidada ha sido devuelto al sector privado, lo que generará un aumento de la inversión y también del consumo. Por otro lado, la baja del riesgo país y, en consecuencia de la tasa de interés, abarata el costo de capital y, por lo tanto, va a producir un aumento directo de la inversión. Además, a estos dos factores se le suma un tercero, que es la reducción de la carga impositiva total, ya sea por la eliminación del impuesto inflacionario o por la reducción de impuestos explícitos que vamos a encarar el año próximo. De hecho, mi equipo está terminando en estos días una reforma impositiva estructural que reducirá en un 90% la cantidad de impuestos nacionales y le devolverá a las provincias la autonomía impositiva que nunca debieron haber perdido. Así, el año próximo veremos una verdadera competencia fiscal entre las provincias argentinas para ver quién atrae más inversiones. El cuarto punto central del proceso de crecimiento que veremos a partir del próximo año tiene que ver con la cuestión monetaria. La convergencia del tipo de cambio paralelo al tipo de cambio oficial que estamos viendo en estos días, que no ha ocurrido nunca en la historia de la humanidad, porque siempre el oficial converge donde estaba el paralelo y no al revés. Esto nos acerca cada día un poco más a la salida definitiva del cepo cambiario, una aberración que nunca debería haber ocurrido y que con nosotros se va a terminar el año que viene y para siempre. Para ello, estamos trabajando en una solución definitiva para el problema de los stocks del Banco Central, que puede darse ya sea a través de un nuevo programa con el Fondo Monetario o a través de un acuerdo con inversores privados. Pero además de esto, para avanzar en el proceso del cierre del Banco Central que hemos prometido y que terminará con la inflación para siempre en Argentina, hemos anunciado un esquema de competencia de monedas para que todos los argentinos puedan utilizar la moneda que quieran en sus transacciones cotidianas. Van a poder hacer las transacciones en la moneda que ustedes quieran. Créase o no, lo estamos haciendo. Esto quiere decir que desde ahora cada argentino va a poder comprar, vender y facturar en dólares o en la moneda que consideren, exceptuando el pago de impuestos que por ahora seguirá siendo en pesos. Todo esto significa que este proceso de crecimiento será sostenible en el tiempo, es decir, que estamos abandonando ese sub y baja que era nuestra economía, en el cual un año estábamos bien, al siguiente caíamos, y así sucesivamente, sin crecer de verdad durante décadas y cayendo en términos per cápita. Esta vez no. El crecimiento llegó para quedarse, al igual que el superávit fiscal. Para acelerar la recuperación, también es fundamental romper las cadenas del comercio exterior que hoy nos asfixia, para poder exportar e importar más bienes y servicios de mejor calidad y a un mejor precio. Por eso, como anuncié en la cumbre del Mercosur, estamos avanzando en una propuesta para eliminar trabas arancelarias que dificultan el comercio dentro del bloque. Pero también buscaremos reducir el arancel externo común que nos encarece la vida a todos sin ningún beneficio en contraprestación. Nuestro objetivo último en el Mercosur es aumentar la autonomía de los integrantes del organismo de cara al resto del mundo, para que cada país pueda comerciar libremente con quien quiera, según les convenga. En esa línea, nuestro primer objetivo será impulsar durante el próximo año un tratado de libre comercio con Estados Unidos, el tratado que debería haber sucedido hace 19 años. Imaginen lo que hubiéramos crecido en estas casi 2 décadas si hubiéramos comercializado con la primer potencia mundial. Todo ese crecimiento nos fue arrebatado con la simple firma de un grupo de burócratas negado a los beneficios del libre comercio. De esta manera, Argentina dejará de darle la espalda al mundo y volverá a ser protagonista del comercio mundial, porque no hay prosperidad sin comercio y no hay comercio sin libertad. En paralelo a todo esto, gracias al RIGI, tendremos el terreno del crecimiento lleno de nuevos jugadores que nunca existieron en nuestro país. A base de darle un marco fiscal lógico a las inversiones de más de 200 millones de dólares, ya tenemos solicitud de aprobación de inversiones por más de 11.800 millones de dólares. Y hay anuncio por miles de millones más en sectores como infraestructura, minería, siderurgia, energía, automotriz, tecnología, petróleo y gas. Esto es, funciona como una anticipación de lo que será nuestro futuro régimen de bajos impuestos. Las grandes inversiones del RIGI traerán un boom comercial, porque así como generan nuevo empleo directo, demandan bienes y servicios de empresas que ya existen, generando miles de puestos de trabajo indirecto y mejorando la productividad de las mismas. Estas inversiones van a funcionar como una inyección de esteroides a nuestra economía, poniéndonos en el lugar en el que debíamos estar hace muchos años. A su vez, el ministro de Desregulación continúa su maratón, bajando cada día más el costo argentino, volviéndonos más competitivos a cada segundo, lo cual también redundará en un aumento de la productividad para todos los sectores de la economía, acrecentando todo lo que ya mencioné antes. En materia de reforma del Estado, este año ya conocieron la motosierra, pero consistió principalmente en revertir los excesos de los últimos años kirchneristas. Ahora se viene la motosierra profunda, porque lo que tenemos que desandar son capas geológicas de organismos y funciones estatales injustificadas. Nos hemos acostumbrado a pensar al Estado Nacional como una niñera que se tiene que hacer cargo de todo, desde darle comer hasta entretener a cada ciudadano. Pero cuando un Estado se arroga tareas que no le competen, además de destruir al sector privado, termina por incumplir sus obligaciones más básicas, como asegurar el orden público o tener una moneda estable. Todo esto lo aprendimos por las malas en los últimos 20 años. Lo voy a decir de frente. Es siempre contraproducente que el gobierno nacional se encargue de cuestiones que o bien puede resolver los estados subnacionales o bien hace mejor el sector privado a través de mecanismos de mercado. Por eso, nosotros vamos a hacer una auditoría inclemente para avanzar con la reducción del gasto público más profunda de la historia argentina, que nos llegará un Estado más chico, más efectivo y más barato para todos los pagadores de impuestos. Vamos a continuar eliminando organismos, secretarías, subsecretarías, empresas públicas y todo estamento del Estado que no debería existir. Cada atribución o tarea que no corresponda a la que se supone que tiene que hacer el Estado Nacional será eliminada, porque cuanto más chico el Estado, más grande la libertad. En materia de seguridad, no vamos a frenar hasta que nuestra doctrina de que el que las hace las paga esté tallada en la memoria de cada delincuente. Vamos a proponer una ley de reiterancia para que los presos reincidentes paguen más caro volver a equivocarse. También vamos a impulsar una ley antimafia, a imagen y semejanza de la ley Rico, que liquidó el crimen organizado en Estados Unidos hace 50 años. A su vez, haremos realidad la baja de la edad de imputabilidad, de manera de que quien sea lo suficiente maduro como para cometer un delito, sea también lo suficientemente maduro como para sufrir las consecuencias. Por otra parte, vamos a reformar la Policía Federal para convertirla en una agencia federal de investigación criminal, aumentando su eficiencia operativa, su profesionalización, su tecnología y su capacidad para combatir delitos tanto nacionales como transnacionales. Por último, vamos a impulsar una unidad antinarcoterrorismo en la triple frontera, en coordinación con nuestros vecinos que integran el Mercosur. Lo que representa capital humano, la debacle económica, social y cultural de las últimas décadas ha dejado un sistema donde millones de chicos comienzan su vida desprotegidos y con hambre, atraviesan su infancia y adolescencia sin aprender a leer ni escribir y nunca logran insertarse correctamente en la sociedad. Con el Ministerio de Capital Humano tenemos el desafío titánico de reconstruir los lazos sociales y dotar de herramientas a nuestras futuras generaciones, al servicio de lo cual trabajaremos con distintos programas de alfabetización, de capacitación y de fortalecimiento del rol de las familias. Como les digo, la cruzada desregulatoria de este gobierno nos ha puesto en el mapa mundial y en materia tecnológica esto augura un futuro de enormes oportunidades, porque el giro a la libertad y el optimismo tecnológico que está dando la Argentina contrasta con muchos países desarrollados, que cada día están más cerca de ser un infierno regulatorio. Nosotros tenemos energía de sobra, tierras frías e inhóspitas de sobra y recurso humano de calidad, también de sobra. No por nada somos el país con más unicornios tecnológicos per cápita de la región. Estos tres factores combinados forman una tormenta perfecta para atraer inversiones de altísimo grado en inteligencia artificial. Que nadie se sorprenda si la Argentina se convierte en el próximo hub de inteligencia artificial del mundo. De hecho, no es casualidad que las mayores empresas del mundo estén evaluando proyectos en Argentina. Lo interesante es que el aumento en demanda de energía que implica la inteligencia artificial va a generar en el mundo entero un resurgimiento de la energía nuclear después de décadas de declive. Y nosotros no nos vamos a quedar.
Okay, he wants to increase artificial intelligence. Yep.
I cross my fingers. If we can combat the green agenda by decriminalizing nuclear power, and with also, and this is gonna happen anyways, also a big expansion in the natural gas production of electricity, because Argentina now is gonna have, thanks to Vaca Muerta and all the investment have been done in the last few years, we're gonna have a really big surplus of natural gas, and I mean, like nothing makes progress more available to poor people than the availability of energy. So, yes. And natural gas and nuclear power are the kings there. They're the most efficient, the less carbon emitting energies that there are around. Obviously, nuclear has much less carbon emissions than natural gas, but natural gas is by far the best of the fossil fuels. So it will not only be the best for the Argentinian population, it will also show the UN agencies that are pushing this crazy 2030 agenda and all of that, they cannot do whatever they want. And if Argentina has success in pushing in that direction, I think that will
certainly
encourage other countries to do the same. And we can maybe hope that one day we can completely finalize this completely anti-human agenda. If you don't believe me, that is an anti-human agenda, go please read Alex Epstein's book, Fossil Future, or read Michael Schellenberger's book, Apocalypse Never, or Bjorn Lomborg's book, False Alarm. So
certainly,
those three reading assignments for people.
You know, it seems like
Yeah, only one of those assignments it's a libertarian author. That's Epstein, but the other two they're progressive. So they're progressive who did their job and look at the numbers and so what the other side is. Michael Schellenberger calls them the neo Malthusians. So
and it sounds like he's also maybe wanting to trade less with the neighbors and more with the USA. It's that's what I get, at least.
Well, yeah, he said that his work. I don't know. He said it in this, but I heard it just recently. He's working on, or he said that
a free trade agreement with the USA.
The free trade agreements with the USA are advanced, and maybe we can expect during the first month of the Trump administration to something to be announced on that regard, like anything that get us a more free trade. It's better. So I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get there.
Yeah. Okay. 8 minutes left.
Atrás. Vamos a diseñar un plan nuclear argentino que contemple la construcción de nuevos reactores, así como la investigación en las tecnologías emergentes de reactores pequeños o modulares, manteniendo los máximos estándares de seguridad y eficiencia. Este plan será presentado en los próximos días por el Dr. Reidel y nos pondrá una vez más a la vanguardia en la materia. Cuando en la Argentina imperaron las ideas de la libertad, fuimos punta de lanza de la región en tecnología. En el año 1900, Argentina era el país con la mayor red de ferrocarriles de América Latina y la 11ª del mundo. Hoy, paradójicamente, solo reencontrándonos con las verdades de nuestro pasado profundo, podemos explotar nuestro potencial y dar un salto hacia el futuro. En definitiva, y para ir terminando, espero que poder dimensionar cuánto ha cambiado la Argentina en tan solo un año nos ayude a darle combustible a nuestra esperanza, pensando en el próximo año. Todavía tenemos un camino largo por recorrer, pero hoy, por primera vez en décadas, hemos sentado las bases para que este camino conduzca al país próspero y pujante que nuestros padres fundadores soñaron. Donde antes había angustia, hoy impera la estabilidad y la previsibilidad. Donde antes estábamos abandonados al caos y la violencia, hoy impera el orden. Donde antes padecíamos la opresión del Estado, hoy ha vuelto a imperar la libertad. Donde antes reinaban los privilegios de unos pocos, hoy impera la igualdad ante la ley para todos. Sin esos pilares básicos, que durante varios años estuvieron ausentes, no habría salida posible para nuestro país. Ahora, de ser uno de los peores países con resultados económicos en los últimos 40 años, pasamos a ser uno de los que mejores se proyectan para los próximos 40 años. En todo el mundo se está hablando de Argentina. Incluso hay quienes consideran a todo este proceso un verdadero milagro económico, el milagro argentino. Quiero agradecer a cada uno de los integrantes de mi gabinete por el inmenso trabajo que han hecho a lo largo del año. Nada de esto habría sido posible sin ustedes. En especial, quiero agradecerle a mi hermana, la secretaria general de la Presidencia, por la enorme labor que ha llevado adelante no solo durante la campaña, sino durante todo este año. Sin ella, nada de todo esto sería posible. La Argentina tendrá para siempre una enorme deuda de gratitud para con ella. Pero no nos podemos dormir en nuestros laureles. El año que viene es un año electoral. A diferencia de lo que suelen hacer los políticos, que en los años electorales se dedican a despilfarrar la plata de todos los argentinos como si fuera propia en búsqueda de votos, nosotros vamos a hacer algo distinto. Es único en la historia de las democracias modernas que un gobierno comience el año electoral sin una política fiscal y monetaria expansiva, porque justamente esa es la lógica del pasado que nos ha hundido. Nosotros no vamos a caer en esta tentación que seducía a la casta, porque nosotros somos el futuro y la prosperidad. Vamos a continuar nuestro programa de ajuste para poder bajar impuestos y devolverle el dinero al sector privado. Y vamos a poner sobre la mesa una agenda de reformas profundas, desarrolladas sobre los pilares que les conté hoy, para que la sociedad elija realmente qué país quiere. Una reforma impositiva, una reforma previsional, una verdadera reforma laboral, una reforma a las leyes de seguridad nacional, una profunda reforma penal, una reforma política y otras tantas reformas que el país se debe hace décadas. Por primera vez en muchos años, las elecciones del año próximo no se tratarán de personas, sino de ideas. Será una elección entre los políticos rancios del pasado o nuestra agenda del futuro. Vamos a plebiscitar los pilares sobre los cuales queremos construir esta nueva Argentina, muchos de los cuales hemos defendido como conceptos a lo largo de este año y con los que muchos dirigentes se comprometieron cuando firmaron el Pacto de Mayo. Espero que reflexionar juntos sobre cuánto hemos cambiado y sobre cuánto más tenemos para hacer nos ayude a dimensionar cuánto hay en juego el año que viene, porque ahora, por primera vez en mucho tiempo, los argentinos tenemos algo que perder. Por eso, como decía Thomas Jefferson, el precio de la libertad es su eterna vigilancia. En esta misma línea, también le quiero extender una advertencia al resto de la política. Creyeron equivocadamente que haber elegido a este gobierno fue un arrebato caprichoso de la sociedad en un momento de profundo malestar. Bueno, la sociedad este año les demostró que su compromiso con el cambio no fue un capricho momentáneo, sino una convicción inquebrantable, amparada en la esperanza de reconstruir nuestra nación. Los argentinos no toleran ni tolerarán obstrucciones insensatas y malintencionadas a nuestras reformas, y será un acto de ingenuidad importante no aprender de este año transcurrido. Les guste o no, Argentina salió del pozo en el que los políticos nos hundieron, y hoy por primera vez en décadas asoma el sol de la esperanza. El país se encamina hacia un futuro de prosperidad que para muchos de ustedes es inimaginable, pero nada ni nadie podrá arrebatarle esa esperanza a los argentinos, porque a diferencia de otros momentos de nuestra historia, donde la esperanza estaba basada en meras palabras vacías, nosotros hemos traído resultados. Se pueden ver, se pueden palpar. Ese futuro de prosperidad está al alcance de nuestras manos. No hay nada que puedan hacer para evitarlo. Pueden subirse al tren del progreso o pueden ser arrollados por él. Sin más, quiero volver a agradecer a todos los argentinos por el enorme sacrificio que han hecho este año. Sepan que no ha sido en vano y que todo este año que ha transcurrido será recordado como el primer año de la nueva Argentina. Espero que pasen un diciembre feliz y en familia y que planifiquen en grande para el año que viene. Tengan la tranquilidad de que este gobierno los defenderá a capa y espada y nunca pierdan la fe en la grandeza futura de nuestra República. Que Dios los bendiga a todos y cada uno de ustedes y que las fuerzas del cielo nos acompañen. Muchas gracias.
Conforme a lo establecido por el artículo...
That was a little more subdued than a lot of his speeches.
Yeah, well, something maybe we didn't say. The security improvements in Rosario, for example. We were in Rosario. We were about the city was about to fall to the drug dealers and drug terrorists mainly. Now the situation has been controlled, and the numbers that he gave there are real. The number of yearly assassinations or killings in the streets went down by 63%.
Yeah.
So the situation is now under much more control than before, and maybe will get normalized. I mean, there's, as I do, that eventually the drug war has to end. All libertarians know that, but there are many different equilibriums in a drug war, and it's very different to be it's very different to be in the U.S. in Baltimore than to be in Houston, for example. So,
yes, they're different. Different all over the U.S.
Or in Latin America, it's very different to be in Chile, Uruguay, or Argentina in most places than to be in Honduras or Mexico. So we were in the city of Rosario, in the all that area, which is not far away from Buenos Aires, 300 kilometers away from the city of Buenos Aires. We were about to fall in a situation like those countries. So disaster was averted there also, and that needs a recognition, I believe. And well, that will be. That would be it. If you want to speak about any other subject, just ask me if I can tell you what.
Yeah, well, he certainly, you know what? This was the first time I also saw a speech where he didn't finish off with "Viva la libertad, carajo."
No,
He didn't
it's a
have an
more
audience.
formal.
This was a much different speech because he didn't have an audience. It was a very calm speech. We didn't have any applause. It was really just like it was a lot more like a board meeting.
Yeah.
Well, the only difference was, if it was a board meeting, he would have been at one end of the table and everybody would have, watching him, and he was sitting down and,
Yeah, he threw out a few words like fiscal degenerates or some language like that here and there, but yeah, it was mostly like you see, more civilized.
Yeah, it was a little more subdued. He did talk about the cast and called out some of the bad guys, but I think he really was I think giving a lot of and trying to really praise the people of your country, just telling them that we've done good work, and I do think we've if things continue to get better, there should be a much more friendlier legislature next year, and after the elections, and who knows what he'll be able to do after that. He's still has a lot of obstacles to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really been a pretty amazing year. Yeah. So,
one more thing that he mentioned, and it is true. He said that the Argentina it's gonna be it's in the it's about in the 145th or 44th position in the economic freedom index of the Heritage Foundation, and there is a foundation here in Argentina called Libertad y Progreso, who made a preliminary report using the same methodology than the Heritage Foundation, that Argentina is gonna fall like from the position number 145 to the 85th position. So it's going to be in the first 90 countries with most economic freedom, which is maybe with a little more improvement would be in the first 60 countries. That would put us in the level of Portugal or even Peru that you mentioned, or Chile. No, Chile is much more free. I don't know. Israel, for example, Israel is in the 38, 40 position. So it's in the same category of countries that are, I think it's from 27 to the 60, 65 is the relatively free countries. So we be there. So if we can sustain that, that would mean prosperity for Argentina. It would not mean what I like anarcho-capitalism or a system of decentralized free cities in the world, or in the territory of Argentinian nation. But it would be ages from where we are and where we have been.
Yeah, and it's just seeing progress. I mean, the people are going to if things are going in a positive direction, people are going to want to stick with what they have. And if things do get better, you're going to see people maybe you'll be able to push for other things like maybe legalizing the drugs. Also there's still very much a from what I hear, also, there's still very much, there's not really a culture of self-defense down there either. That you can't really. You'll go to jail if somebody breaks into your house and you shoot him. You'll still get arrested.
Well, if it breaks into your house, like it goes through the door, like there you can pretty much kill him here.
Yeah,
you will maybe have endure a legal process, but you will get free. Free of charge and without no many problems. But
Yeah.
in the streets, sometimes somebody attacks you. It's a different thing.
From what I hear, a lot of people in Argentina use big dogs as their defense.
Well, I have a big dog here, so
Yeah.
well, relatively big. It's a
And
26 kilo pit bull. So yeah, it's a medium to big.
that's a fairly big dog. Yeah. Yeah.
60 pounds. Let's say 60-pound dog.
You know, when you think about how much, I mean, as far as what dogs are generally stronger than humans to begin with. I mean, they're.
Oh yeah, no. If my dogs if my dog wanted to attack me, really, I couldn't do anything. Like I
mean,
would
yeah,
just endure the pain.
I mean, if I had a dog, you know, to see what dogs are able to move and pull versus what I can move and pull pound for pound, they are very, especially some of the small dogs, they're really strong. But they jump high, and maybe just because they move around a lot more too.
Well, here we created one of the best breeds of dogs, I believe. The Argentinian Dogo. Argentinian Dogo. I don't know if you know it. It's a white. It's like a white big pit bull. It's a little more stylized. Like it's a little larger. But yeah, it's a 50 kilograms. Dog. And it's mainly used has many purposes, but it's mainly used for hunting and guarding the sheep, like herds and animals from farms.
By the way, I want to put this out here. I had a recent interview where a lady was talking and her dog comes on the screen, and I said hi to the dog, and I just said, if I ever get a chance with an interview with Milei, the dogs are welcome to join us. I mean, all four of them. I know he's got 4 English Mastiffs. I mean, it must be partial to that breed. Yeah, and I said, that sounds like the name of a rock band, Javier Milei and the English Mastiffs. It's
like the Rolling Stone magazine. Maybe the Rolling Stone magazine becomes less woke, less progressive, and well, I wouldn't call them progressive. Woke is the term. Fakely progressive.
Really?
I have progressive friends that I respect, and they are not those people. I would like to see a cover of Milei with the 4 dogs or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because they're all, and you named them all after economists, which is cool.
It would be a great conquest over woke culture to do that.
Yeah. Well, Rolling Stone magazine, you got to remember, it came out of the late 1960s.
No, I know, but it became like official line of woke propaganda like years ago. So that's how you can tell.
Yeah, it's a we teach all the dogs to play musical instruments. That was but it's been a very good year, and I don't know if there's any what potential obstacles could come up. I mean, I think the government unions could certainly be a problem, and they've been the ones who go and lead a lot of the protests, right?
Yeah, but they are deactivated because many of their and this was admitted by the people.
Yeah,
so they admitted behind closed doors, but they admitted many of the workers that conformed their unions, they voted for Milei. I mean, they can see the decadence of the country all around them, even if they are relatively better because they have a union that negotiates in a privileged way for them. But yeah, look, the country is in the shambles. I mean, we have the last government left us with a poverty rate average of over 52%, 53%, and the poverty rate in children up to 14 years old is over 60%.
Yeah.
So what kind of future you have? I mean, you don't have all through all this more than 20 years of Kirchnerismo, you didn't have access to to a loan to have to finance your house. I mean, it's impossible. I've been living. I've been living by myself for the last since 2009, I think, like for the last 15 years, and I was always renting. I keep renting. If I for options, I move around I move like 4, 5, 6 times in those years, and I know I'm relatively secure in my position. No, I can, but there's no question I can ever apply for a loan. There was no loan. All the credit was absorbed and used by the government, by the state. So it's a situation that, for example, for Americans it's not maybe imaginable. This rate of inflation with not availability of real loans because there are no savings because they are consumed by the government. So
and all the inflation, in America, I mean, people will often finance a car. They'll buy a car and then they'll maybe take out a loan that's maybe 3 or 4 years on the car, and they'll pay their car off in 3 or 4 years, or and you'll buy a house.
Let's see. For example, you can get a loan for a car, like you can get one that like the even the auto agencies finance it. But I mean, first of all, cars are at least twice as expensive in the US, and I'm talking all cars across the board. I'm talking from new cars to used cars. Or at least double the price. Even that, and then you have to constantly maintain the car. So, and it has the county taxes you have to pay every month to your local city government, and then you have you have to pay mandatory insurance. You have to and then pay all the other expenses, like if you don't have a place to park it, you have to rent a parking place. I mean, so it's just several. Like I used to have a car like 5 years, 6 years down the road, but I had to sell it because the maintenance cost of the car. Like I used it very little. I just wanted to have a car to use it like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And I couldn't maintain it and so I decided, well, I'll sell it. And I'm talking. I bought that car to my father. It's a 2015. I bought it in 2015. I sold it in 2018. I remember the car that I bought from my father was a 1997 Ford. I think it's Fusion, the one you have there, Fusion. We have another name for it, but it's the same one. A 1997 Ford.
Different names. They have different car names down there. Yeah, definitely.
So
it's generally not easy to have a car in a city, in these really super large cities, because just like I said, parking's expensive. There's not a lot of space. I mean, Buenos Aires looks like it has pretty good public transportation. I mean, now if you're out in the small towns,
you're screwed.
100. You need to have a car, but you also have more space. You have a place to park. You might have a house with a yard. You might have a garage. It's really there's a lot of difference out there. And of course you have to go further to go from point A to point B.
Yeah, you spend much more money on maintenance of the car and gasoline. So,
but you also. But as you mentioned, cars are twice as expensive. That probably also means that car parks are twice as expensive. So when you gotta get new tires, or when you maybe have a small accident, you got to replace your windshield, or you got to, get a new battery.
Yeah, this is not like the States.
A new bumper or something like that. I can imagine that's probably more difficult too.
Yeah, it's true. It's not like the United States where you can find auto parts everywhere.
Yeah.
Here, it's very difficult, and sometimes you get parts, and your mechanic gives you a part, and you're suspicious. Maybe he got it in the black market, like in the stolen car system. So
I suppose Although I suppose there's also much more of a salvage industry too, though, where people, they're where the cars, are out of commission or in a wreck, and they just take parts off the car that might have been in a wreck, or a car that might just
that exists. That exists a lot, but it's not.
Yeah. It's
not,
but
it's not
like
enough
houses,
for
but houses are the same way. An American will usually, least will take out a 15-year mortgage, but some people take out a 30-year mortgage. What's interesting too is somebody once told me that if you take out a 30-year mortgage, your mortgage payments are only, or if you take a 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage, your payments are only 16% more. So you end up paying that much more in interest, but still it's something, where if you can't get mortgages and you have to buy your car and your house up front with all the cash, it's a lot harder to buy things. It's creates a permanent, and there's a sense of permanency when people buy houses, versus renting. It's,
No, and there are system of financing that all the construction companies make, but with the inflation, paying the increasing quotas every month, the increasing the paying the monthly price you have to pay in or the monthly payment makes it very absolutely unpredictable and not sustainable for most people to pay at the rate of inflation. There are many people who can do it. There are some people who can do it in Argentina. There will always be like a 7 to 10 million people, which are the rich class of Argentina that can afford that, but most people cannot. They cannot keep at the rate of inflation. So that makes it very hard. Anyways, so I think that's
This has been a good talk. I hope we can have you back on again. It was an interesting speech. So I know you got to go, and I got to go too. So
whenever you want. Thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah. Where can we find you out there?
Oh, I'm on Facebook, Miguel Duranti.
Okay,
I have Twitter, but I don't use it. So
Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, buy my novel Escape from the Village, check out my Substack, go to Buy Me a Coffee to support the forum. Thank you, Miguel Duranti. This is Chris Baker. We're out. Buy my novel Escape from the Village from major booksellers online. Go to escapevillage.com. Subscribe to the Substack. Go to fountainheadforum.substack.com. Support the forum. Go to buymeacoffee.com/fountainheadforum. Thank you.